It's like the Wi-Fi. It's just
Right. What am I going to do for the next 5 hours? Okay, well, welcome back to What She Said Sports. All right, so it's Sunday night. It feels like Saturday night, but it's Sunday night. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend as we get ready to move into next week. Well, it's now next week. Sunday starts the week. Hey Tina, how you doing? How you doing? All right, so uh Friday the 18th is what? That's when camp begins. So today we're talking about rookie mini camp, or no, what is it called? It's called training camp. And the rookies show up first on Friday. So what I want to talk about is uh there's a lot happening right before rookie camp starts. Cleveland media figured out they know who Shedeur is. Other teams are reportedly interested in Shedeur. Shedeur is expected to report on Friday along with the rest of the rookies. One rookie in general might be pending. We don't know if he's going to show up or not. I was going to ask y'all, do y'all think Shedeur will be there on Friday? Of course, I would expect him to show up. I feel like the talk about Cleveland releasing Shedeur has waned. I don't know if the whole Quishon Junkins situation is making them rethink cutting somebody that's really good from the team like they did Nick Chubb. And now with Quishon Junkins situation, they're in a pickle. And a lot of people said this is karma because they should have re-signed Nick Chubb. But I told y'all, Andrew Berry likes to pride himself on getting people for pennies on a dollar. And it seems that Cleveland is willing to dispose of talent for whatever reason. That doesn't make any sense to any of us at all. So I expect Shedeur to show up. The question is, will Deshaun Watson be there? They have not ruled him out for the season yet. So I'm expecting Deshaun Watson will also show up, and they'll have 5 quarterbacks in camp by the time rookies and veterans show up. Baker Mayfield, why is he on here? Because there are people that are comparing Baker Mayfield to Shedeur, but not because of their skill set, because they're different quarterbacks. It's because Baker Mayfield was once in Shedeur's situation, meaning he's talented, but they moved on from him anyway. And we know Shedeur is the best quarterback that Cleveland has. Yes, they're suddenly starting to realize what they already knew, that Shedeur is the best quarterback they have. And I think this whole Quishon Junkins thing is going to make them pump the brakes on cutting Shedeur, because they're going to be like, you know what? We better not cut Shedeur, because look, we did not re-sign Nick Chubb, and he was good for us, and we let him go. I personally think people that leave Cleveland escape. That's how I see it. I think Baker Mayfield escaped. Baker Mayfield left, went to Tampa, and is now considered a top tier QB in the league. Threw for like 40 touchdowns in his second year at Tampa. So it's like he had to go somewhere and to be the quarterback that he is. DTR escaped, in my opinion, and found his freedom in Philadelphia, right? That's what it feels like, right? It feels like these guys are in hellish situations, to the point where I almost asked the question, is Quishon Junkins trying to get out of his situation with the NFL? Is that why this is happening? Because the case is not straightforward and cut and dry as you would think. I have a video I just put together about it. I will release it after this podcast. I did question it. Quishon Junkins, as y'all know, was still holding out, had not signed his contract. So I did. The thought had crossed my mind. I was like, it could be, it could be, not something that maybe a lot of people would do. But what are these guys going to do? Training camp starts on Friday. Rookies report on Friday. The NFL obviously have not moved to resolve their contracts. They were holding out for a reason. Are they just going to go, okay, never mind, let me sign it after kicking up all this dust, right? So luckily, Shadeur is not in that situation, right? And I don't know if he was drafted number 2, if he would have not signed his contract. I don't know. Maybe he and Travis would have talked about it, and they would have been like, well, if you're not signing it, I'm not signing it either. But we didn't get that opportunity to figure that out. He signed his contract to our dismay. But hey, Shadeur is a warrior, right? He's doing what he needs to do. He's living his life. Since he took his helmet and that practice jersey, he likely gonna be there on Friday. Will they welcome him with open arms? They better, because if there are rumblings with other teams like Indianapolis, Detroit, the Saints, the Jaguars, right? Because he has options. That's what it sounds like. He has options, and it sounds like to me, because these options are being made available and discussed publicly as possibilities, that, oh, well, you know what? We think he's good. That's what I see. So let me know, what are your expectations? What do you think are the expectations for Shedeur at camp? The reason why I ask is because he balled out in rookie minicamp. He balled out in OTAs. We did not see him publicly work out with the first string. So what is the expectation for rookie minicamp? Rookie minicamp is not where you figure out who your quarterback is. Does that make sense? That is not the place to figure out, okay, yeah, we think it's going to be this person. In my opinion, Cleveland has seen enough of Shedeur to know that he's the best, which is why you didn't see him work out with the ones. With that being the case, that he's proven himself, not that he needed to. He was proven coming out of college. It is amazing to me how when I go back and my TV just pivots to these games that Shedeur played for Jackson State, year one at CU, and year two. It is amazing to me, especially in year two, how many commentators made the statement that he's easily a first round pick. And at one point, I looked to see what game it was. During the Cincinnati game, it was discussed that Shedeur Sanders is the number one pick overall. You see how that works? The moment Shedeur Sanders became the number one pick overall, they decided, okay, we better show Travis Hunter some love. See, a lot of people forget that the Heisman Committee was snubbing both of them. So they had to pick. They didn't need to pick, but they didn't want them both. So they took Travis. Now, here's something interesting that's taking place as camp is getting ready to start, right? Where Travis is concerned. Remember, Shedeur at one point was the number one pick overall. Both were Heisman candidates. Both were snubbed. Both became Heisman candidates. Shedeur became the number one pick. Then Travis became the favorite for the Heisman. And then Shedeur was like, take me out of it, give it to Travis. And then he kept the media from pitting them against each other, which is good, right? But now that Shedeur and Travis have gone to different teams, there's no competition between the two. Now the NFL is starting to talk down on Travis at wide receiver 1. That they don't really want him to play both ways. Why are people suddenly going in on Travis? You know what it proves? It proves what I said all along. That all they did was choose Travis so they didn't have to choose Shedeur. That's what it was. Not that Travis wasn't good. Travis and Shedeur are both good. But see, they didn't want both to win. So they were hating both, tried to pit them against each other. Shedeur saw it, took himself out of contention, said, give it to Travis. Then people thought, oh my God, they love Travis. They love Travis. They love Travis. Then the draft happens. They humiliate Shedeur, choose Travis at the number 2 spot, which was supposed to be Shedeur's spot, give Shedeur Travis's number, right? He goes down there to Cleveland, Shedeur, and balls out. Travis balls out. But at that time, they trying to hold up Travis and downplay Shedeur. But what do we learn? Travis ain't got no contract. So then we find out Travis don't even have a contract signed. We thought they loved Travis. That was the first sign right there that all of that was an act. So then Travis goes fishing with Coach Prime. On a Sunday, he gets his contract signed on a non-business day. His contract is signed. There's no competition or nothing holding up. Cleveland think they got Shedeur licked because he got a speeding ticket or 2 that they gonna hold him back from QB1, so he's not gonna be a problem. And now they turn it on Travis. The NFL suddenly don't want him to play 2 ways after his contract is signed. Where's the love? It was all an act because the whole way through the media, not sports media, but like NFL media, tried to pit Travis against Shedeur, and they couldn't. The Heisman Committee tried it. They couldn't. Because see, Shedeur plays chess. He was like, take me out of the race. I'm good. I'm good. I don't have to be in it. Then they couldn't pit them together. See, as long as he releases what they think he wants, there's nothing they could do. And now that Shedeur is technically out the way in their mind before this weekend, they hating on Travis going into the weekend. Where is the love? It was an act. It was all an act. And I hope Travis sees and moves accordingly where the NFL is concerned. Go live your life. Don't be tiptoeing around these people for them to pat you on your head like you a dog. And all they try to do is pit you against another black player that you call brother. Live your life. Live your life. So both players are getting ready to go to camp. Now that both players' contracts are or signed, they are committed to the NFL, right? Shedeur's situation just got a little bit more interesting because of Quishon Junkins. The fact that Cleveland media is pretty like tight-lipped about it because there's not really much to say. Let's see what they have to say about these speeding tickets, because I don't know if y'all remember. At one point, they even had the audacity to say that the speeding ticket should be the reason that Shedeur doesn't start for Cleveland. How is that for nitpicking and looking for something to hold him back? You was going to do it anyway. You were going to hold him back anyway. We know that. Enter Baker Mayfield into the conversation. So Baker Mayfield was good for Cleveland. It's reported that Kevin Stefanski just couldn't get it together where Baker Mayfield was concerned, and Baker Mayfield himself wanted out. That was reported by an outlet in Seattle. I'm like, is he from Seattle? So an outlet in Seattle said that Baker Mayfield wants out. So they decide they want to get Deshaun Watson instead. Now, they knew all too well that they didn't want Deshaun Watson to play. That's why they drafted DTR when they did. But they messed over him too, right? Sent him out there to play, start 3 games. In 2024, he barely played, it seems. He definitely didn't start. And then what? Now he's in Philadelphia. So the revolving door of quarterbacks is what's happening as we come into camp. Baker Mayfield's story tells us that it's not about Shedeur proving himself. So when I ask what the expectations are, it's not to prove anything. Baker Mayfield proved he was the best, and they still traded him. They knew full well when they got Deshaun Watson, they didn't expect much. Why? Because the NFL did not want another player with Deshaun Watson's contract. So if Deshaun Watson go out there and ball out at 8-4, because he does have an 8-4 record, a quarterback that has a better record than Deshaun wants Deshaun's contract. And that's where the collusion case was born, because that's exactly what happened. Deshaun Watson's contract was the catalyst for the collusion case. So what is the expectation for Shedeur if, like Baker Mayfield, he's already proven himself and they still want to get rid of him? Or like Deshaun Watson, he was forced to Cleveland and they really don't want him to start. What is the expectation for Shedeur Sanders going into training camp, which starts this Friday? Let me see what y'all are saying. Keep in mind, Deshaun Watson forced to Cleveland, Shedeur Sanders forced to Cleveland. Expectations are likely the same. Baker Mayfield was good and it didn't matter. Expectations are likely the same. So I just want to see. Y'all might come up with something I didn't come up with. So let's see. Welcome, everybody. Hey, Tina. Hey, Nabalia. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Charlotte. Hey, Crowley. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hey, Joyce. How you doing? It is exciting leading up to training camp. Yeah, it's a lot happening. I said, if he has to go to that extreme, Cleveland is truly a whole. Yes, and it's possible. It's possible because think about it. I want you to think about this, Peter. So that's a good point. Peter said if what's his name? Quishon had to go to the extremes of trumping up a delayed battery charge, right? Misdemeanor, nothing serious, minor injuries. Then Cleveland is really a bad place, but let's consider that for a minute. What does that look like? First of all, how the hell is he working without a contract? I'm like, what has been signed? Because he doesn't have a contract. But since he doesn't have a contract, if they decide to cut him, could another team pick him up? Let me know. If Cleveland decides to cut Quishon Junkins, can another team pick him up, or is this a ploy to get his contract signed? Because they don't have no running backs. So if I'm Cleveland and I didn't want to get his contract together and now he's in trouble, I could cut him, but I don't have no running backs. God damn it, I gotta sign him. And he want me to fix the language in his contract. But now he in trouble. So if I cut him, he could go somewhere else and get away from me. But then if I give in to his demands, he gonna be the third, second round pick that we've given into. So what does that mean for the rest of the second round picks that's holding out? Spicy, spicy. Now you see. Now you see. Now you see. We already know Cleveland is trash. Let's just be honest. We know this. I looked at Deshaun Watson's clip popped up in my phone from the wedding. And I know what it was. It was online. Somebody confirmed that was Haslam. And remember when we were watching the wedding, I said, why did I think that was the damn owner from the Texans? Because I was like, that's shocking, right? You know why I thought that? Because didn't the owner of the Cleveland Browns put Deshaun Watson on blast or on or about March 31st by saying, we took a big swing and missed with Deshaun Watson? That was an insult to Deshaun Watson. And now you at his wedding? You going to call that man out publicly, throw him under the bus to block Shedeur, and he has a winning record in Cleveland. And you're at his wedding. That's why my brain couldn't even let me fathom. My brain is like, hell no, that's not who that is, because that's crazy. But that's who it was. Haslam was at Deshaun's wedding, and he ought to feel this big. Unless he called up Deshaun first and say, hey, buddy, we get ready to block Shedeur. We're going to use you as a scapegoat, so don't pay attention to nothing we say. But then Deshaun Watson took Shedeur under his wing. So that tells me that that heads up phone call never happened. So you see how the team treats its players. So is it really far-fetched to think that a very minor misdemeanor that was delayed after you had to look into it to determine if any battery occurred at all is not maybe pressure to push somebody else into a direction? Cut me so I could go somewhere else, or fix the language in my contract because you don't have no running backs. Back up against the wall. But they did it to themselves. See, Cleveland is not very bright. Let me tell you why. They did not re-sign Nick Chubb knowing that Quishon Junkins' contract was still unsigned. That's not smart. You had leverage with Nick Chubb to force Quishon Junkins into signing his contract or miss training camp. But you let Nick Chubb go, and now I have no running backs. Quishon Junkins is in trouble. I don't know what really happened, so I might have to let him go to another team. Or is he going to go back to Ohio State? Or am I going to give in to his demands and fix the language in his contract? Let me know your thoughts. So, Peter, we're going to leave that on the screen because I want people to see that because it proves what we just said, everything I talked about, Haslam at the wedding, giving away your leverage, not smart, shady, shiesty. We saw how they did Shedeur in the draft. So, yeah, I could see it. Okay, so let's see. Who's next with the comments? Paul. Hey, Paul, how you doing? I want him to leave Cleveland. You talking about Shedeur? Yeah. I think Shadeur's fans are like, you know what? We could get out of here. We could get out of here because they're not going to let him start. We could get out of here. So, yes, Paul, I agree. Echo said, hey, everybody, how you doing? It said they're not going to get rid of Shedeur. That's the money man. I happen to agree with you now that they have suddenly, fakingly so, seen the light, Navalia. I would say that if he was the money man, what does it say about Cleveland that they treated Shedeur like he wasn't knowing that he's the money man? Let me know. Anthony Vance said, Queen, they are not getting rid of Shedeur. Have you seen his jersey sales? Yes. So tell me this. Since he had the number one jersey, why is it I treated him like he wasn't. Why did I treat the guy, the money man, the one who sold the most rookie jerseys? Why did I treat him like a fourth string when I pre-draft with him extensively to be my franchise QB? Explain it, Anthony. Let me know. Let me know. Amber, how you doing? Good evening. Pamela, how you doing? Crawley, 250 million in jersey sales overall for Shedeur, and they still treated him like a fourth string. So it proves what Peter has on the screen about the organization being basuda, being trash. It proves that they don't treat their players right. Baker Mayfield, Deshaun Watson, Quishon Junkins, maybe possibly. Shedeur Sanders for sure. DTR, yep. PJ Walker, yep. Kaiser Deshaun, absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, Regina, welcome back. Welcome back. It says, so if it took years for him to develop those players, why are they giving him credit for developing Angel? What we talking about, Reddit? We talking about Stefanski? Regina said, I sure hate to hear about Quishon Junkins, rookie for Browns, getting arrested for domestic violence. Yep. We talking about, is that some type of strategy, a chess move? That's what's on the screen. Bianca, welcome. Hey, y'all, welcome Bianca to the chat. Welcome. Amber, I just want him to do his best. We're talking about expectations for Shedeur and training camp coming up this Friday. He's supposed to report this Friday. I just want Shedeur to do his best. I think other teams will be watching too. Absolutely. They are keeping Shedeur. Okay, Regina. Navalia, they might want to trade him. I don't think they're gonna trade him. They were acting like it, weren't they? They were putting on an act like they didn't value him, like they didn't want him, like he wasn't nothing. Maybe they want him to believe he only worth $4 million, so they don't have to fix that contract. He was trying to get it fully guaranteed, but now they don't have to do it. And he might be happy because he could get the hell on. Amber said the NFL colluding with gold diggers now. What? Amber, you know I'm going to need you to expand on what you're talking about. Colluding with gold diggers. It said, Navalia said they told Deshaun Watson that he can't leave the building. They don't want him outside. What? When did that happen? Please send me a link to that. I need to see that information. So now they don't want him to come outside and be around. Why? Because they got that insurance money on lock and they don't want him to play. They don't want Deshaun Watson to play because they know he's going to ball out. And y'all know that that's about collusion. Bianca, they underestimated his influence and fan base, and plus all the lies are coming out. There you go. Y'all welcome Bianca to the chat because she gets it. She gets it. They underestimated everything. Shedeur, his talent, his influence, his fan base, and they lied. They lied. Yes, they lied. Speaking of lies, this is a good time to pivot to share this. All right, so just put a pin in Shedeur right fast. Going around on X, somebody again, Terry, keeps me in the know on X. He said, I don't know what to think of this. He or she said, I don't know what to think of this. So he sent me over some screenshots of conversations that people, private individuals had via text about Quishon Junkins. Now, I thought this was very interesting. I thought it was interesting that this came out today, and this goes back into what Peter responded to what I said. Is this some kind of pressure tactic, a ploy, strategy, chess move, if you will, by Quishon Junkins? Because rookie minicamp is Friday and his contract not signed. And a text went out that said, I'm going to read it. Hold on. A text went out that said, basically, one person told the other, maybe they should have saw this coming about Quishon Junkins because when he was at Ole Miss, he was problematic. And that Jackson Dart went and told the coach that Quishon Junkins was causing problems and he was a distraction. So they sidelined him during the game. I'm like, who? They said Jackson Dart. I'm like, what school is this? And they told my Ole Miss. So the conversation was that the NFL did an investigation, but they didn't find anything on Quishon. but the NFL likely talked to Ole Miss and likely ignored that he was a problem in the locker room or etc. Right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna come back to that. And then it was another one that said, on the flip side, Ole Miss has said nothing negative. All of Quishon Junkins, Ole Miss, I guess his colleagues, his teammates, had nothing but good things to say. So that's why the NFL didn't pump the brakes on Quishon. So people are asking, do we believe Ole Miss and do we believe Ohio State? I said, well, first of all, I said, we talking about Ole Miss. The fact that a black player at Ole Miss might not be happy is not cause for alarm, because it's Ole Miss, and it's in Mississippi, and Ole Miss has a reputation, and we all know what it is, right? So maybe he wanted out of Ole Miss, and maybe he was acting out. Maybe something happened. Maybe they were doing something to him at Ole Miss. Oh, anything could have goddamn happened at Ole Miss. Okay. The point is, if he does not have misdemeanor battery, felony assault, or any type of record at all, I'm not listening to nothing coming out of Ole Miss. What flag is it that they fly? Okay. Now, I'm going to go with Ohio State because that's where he was recently. He signed a 2-year NIL deal for $800,000. No problems. No problems coming out of Ole Miss. I mean, coming out of Ohio State. So I thought it was interesting that somebody tried to circulate, which you or I could have texted and screenshotted and said it was somebody else that said it, right? Like, we don't really know if that was a real text, but I did think it was interesting that somebody tried to put that out there, spin that about him being problematic. I was like, okay, right? Because one of us we could all be in a group chat, right? And we could all be texting. And then I could send that to somebody and say this a bunch of people at Ole Miss talking about Quishon. You can't believe that kind of thing. You can't. That's anonymity again. So they wanted to bring anonymity out with Quishon Junkins. Now, the lady, Mary Cabot, she posted today that he was going in on, he was in jail because of domestic violence, etc. Now, mind you, in Florida, they have it listed as misdemeanor battery / something else / something else. So it could be this, or this. And it said misdemeanor battery and domestic violence, but she left out the misdemeanor. So I quoted on top of it and said misdemeanor battery. Let's not make it worse than it is, because that's what she was doing by leaving out the details. So see, that's what they doing in Cleveland. They act like they tight-lipped, but see, they're not really tight-lipped. They know he didn't sign that contract, and they probably thinking what we're talking about right now. We don't have a goddamn quarterback. He didn't sign his contract. Is this a ploy to get us to let him go? Then here comes somebody from Ole Miss. Are they trying to help force the issue? Are they trying to find a reason for Cleveland to let it go? Because Ohio State people, somebody who knew what was going on there, said it was no problem. So see, it's a little complicated. It's a little fuzzy. But I do think it is a possibility if you look at the timing. It could be exactly what I said it is. And there are other teams out there that players wouldn't act like this about. Why? Because they're good teams. We're talking about Cleveland. Excuse me, we're talking about Cleveland. Cleveland is problematic. Cleveland is problematic. They talked about Shedeur's traffic tickets incessantly, but they are tight-lipped, and I'm talking about the media, about what they want to say is domestic violence, which he is alleged of. And if you read it, I don't know for sure if that's the charge that they're going to move forward with. Matter of fact, we don't even know if whoever he was in an altercation with is pressing charges, because we don't know who he's in altercation with, right? We don't even know if there was an altercation. We don't really know nothing. All we know is that he was alleged. It's a misdemeanor, and the judge gonna decide after he look and see if he have a record, right? So it's kind of interesting, the timing of it, right? You know, people actually asked that question about Shadeur's speeding tickets. They said the same thing. But I I don't think 2 speeding tickets gonna get you kicked off a football team. In fact, Xavier Worthy's situation, that was felony domestic violence, even though the charges were dropped in March. And Kansas City wasn't trying to get rid of him, and he still worked there. So it's interesting. We'll just have to see, what it is. It was interesting that Jackson Dart name came up. I'm like, it's about Jackson Dart went to the coach and said that Quishon was a problem. I'm like, okay, see, stop right there. Stop right there. Who? Oh, okay. All right. I don't give a damn about nothing coming out of Ole Miss unless they got receipts. It said they claimed they were trying to tempt down. They were trying to what? Tempt down Shedeur mania. They probably were, but sorry. And it's not mania. Shedeur is a good quarterback. Thank you for that, Amber. It said they really only pissed right. They only made us mad. Absolutely. Hit the like button for me. Thank you, Pamela. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. I mean, did Cleveland or the NFL have a woman press fake charges against Quishon? I don't think it's the NFL. I don't think it's the NFL side. I don't think it's them at all. I don't think it's them at all. I think you could tell by how they don't even want to talk about it. It's like they scared to talk about it. They scared to say anything. I'm just like, is he working without a contract? I'm sitting up here going, okay, that's a video for another day. What's going on here? We want people to work without a contract. That's what I heard. It said, so I see what you mean, Amber. Okay. I don't know. But I don't think they had nothing to do with it. I see something else happening here. It said, tell them I know something. Love it. Put it on a t-shirt. What? Welcome, Wig. How you doing? That boy Wig. Welcome. Amber said, so they won't have to guarantee those contracts. I don't know what they're gonna do. I honestly, the way the NFL, if you look at their history, that collusion case, anytime you are found guilty of collusion, but there are no damages, you got the arbitrator in your pocket. So I think they're not gonna move on it. I don't think they're gonna guarantee these contracts. I think, these guys are looking at the calendar. They know they're supposed to report on Friday. But see, another thing about the NFL, they're a little retaliatory. They kind of retaliatory. So it wouldn't surprise me if they've been behind the scenes, because they let it be known publicly that they were calling up players from the UFL. I'm like, so what? The UFL is your G League now? In other words, don't think you're going to run over there because we get players from there and they're going to replace you. So we're going to see what happens. You see, they fixed Travis' contract and nobody else's. Now, what does that say to the other players? What does that say to the other players? I watch you jump through hoops to get Travis' contract done on the weekend, and you won't even respond to my people that are reaching out to you to tell us you to fix this contract. There's no sense of urgency. Travis was involved in that too, and y'all know how it got done, right? So they can't say Coach Prime is not influential. Clearly he is. And if they use the UFL like a G League, what the hell were they afraid of? That he was going to go to Canada? Or was he going to start his own league? They were afraid of something. So, what does that say to the other guys in the second and one, I think, in the third round? Quishon Junkins and the rest. What does it say that I fixed Travis's contract, but nobody else's? Let me know. What message does that send? All right, we're going to keep reading comments here. Have you seen Prime equity contract Shedeur sign? With who? Equity contract? Shedeur signed the equity contract. I saw a post about that, but I don't know what that was about. Tell me about it. Send me a link or briefly summate it in the comments so we could talk about it, Anthony, because I did hear something about an equity contract, but there was so much going on, I couldn't get back to that. Thank you for sharing that too. I'm going to leave that on the screen. So I'm waiting on you, Anthony, to provide. I need you to expand on that. It said, why push Shedeur through all of this unnecessary BS? I'm sick of Cleveland and the NFL. Yep. See, Vulture said it was Jackson Dart. See? As soon as I heard that what I was reading was about somebody from Ole Miss and I saw Jackson Dart name, y'all know my eyes went straight. Y'all know my mind went straight to that public humiliation stunt with the Ole Miss sweatshirt guy. I'm like, oh, now you want to tell that. Tell that. So why, if he was so bad at Ole Miss, was Ohio State happy to have him? Now, this is what they said too. They said the door was practically held open for Quishon to leave Ole Miss. Like, we glad to see you go. Now we talking about Mississippi and Ole Miss. Quishon Junkins is black, right? I can't take nothing that they say with a grain of salt if he can go to Ohio State and get a 2-year contract for almost $1 million. They said he wanted more money. I'm like, okay. I mean, Deshaun Watson asked for a trade, and look what happened. You see? You see? So while Jackson Dart out here telling, he might want to tell us who in that Ole Miss sweatshirt that called up Shedeur and pretended to be the GM of the Saints. Because I know he know. The GM's daughter, how did they say it? Penned a heartfelt letter to Jackson Dart. So let's just connect the dots here. The public humiliation stunt, that guy, supposed to be her boyfriend, right? She's the daughter of the GM. I'm sure the GM had, or the coach, somebody, executive level and above, had Shedeur Sanders' phone number. So you see the triangle here? Jackson Dart, the GM's daughter, go back up, Jackson Dart, the GM's girlfriend, and then I want you to draw a line from Jackson Dart to the prankster. So the GM's daughter pens a heartfelt letter to Jackson Dart. Okay, that means familiarity. They know each other, right? So Jackson Dart don't know her boyfriend, and he out here telling. It's something else he needs to tell, don't he? You see, they all know each other. So while he telling it, he need to run tell that. Anyway, so I take anything coming out of Ole Miss that does not have receipts with a grain of salt, because it's the state of Mississippi. It is Ole Miss, and Quishon Junkins is black. Argue with your mama. It wouldn't surprise me that he wanted out of there. It wouldn't surprise me that he wanted more money and they wanted to get rid of him. It would not surprise me at all. So that's that. It said, yep, it was Dart. He claimed Q flashed on him a couple of times. Moving right along. Jackson Dart is a snitch. And a certified hater. Yeah, it makes me wonder when he put them shades on and his hat, like Shadeur had it on, was he mocking Shadeur because they was making fun of Shadeur? I wondered about that. It said, yes, I heard about the prime equity as well. Was it a mock though? Somebody let me know about that. I'm gonna have to look into it. It said a podcast that plays that was at Ole Miss said they are prejudiced. It's Mississippi. It's Mississippi. And people keep talking about they flag that they fly. It's Ole Miss. Okay, let's just be real here. We are talking about the state of Mississippi. Hinds County, Mississippi. Isn't that where Jackson is? So apparently there's this imaginary line in Mississippi that has something to do with Hinds County, and Jackson State is over here. Now, Amber, you might know about this, because and anybody else that is familiar with Jackson State, the state of Mississippi in Hinds County. Now, I don't know if Jackson, Mississippi is in Hinds County, but there is some weird imaginary line that the people in Mississippi don't want the people from Jackson to move into Hinds County and out of Jackson. And when you go to this one little particular part and you black, you get harassed. And there were several officers brought up on charges of kidnapping these black men in Mississippi recently and doing god-awful, unspeakable, unimaginable things to them. It's Mississippi. And Mississippi is still Mississippi. You don't believe me? Google it. Officers brought up on charges for what they did to some black men because they were in Hinds County or because they crossed that imaginary line. Google it. That's that. So we still don't know about the mock equity or the equity. Okay, we got to learn about that. It said that's why Dart will be a bust. He just not good. They said that he reached his ceiling in college. But that will be karma. Is it true that the woman involved added what? I'm not even gonna say that out loud. Miss Pamela, what you talking about? I need you to expand on that. I can't put that on the screen. What you talking about, Miss Pamela? It said, oh gosh, right. I don't know. So I'm gonna keep going. It said the NFL is a circus, and I feel like I am in the twilight zone in this madness. Yes, BJ Riggs, it's pretty bad right now. That boy Wiggs said, I hope Coach Prime and others come up with their own league. We will definitely support. You know what I saw today? All right, so I told y'all, I think I was watching a video with Shedeur in it, and y'all know how the algorithm is nosy. Right. So the next thing you know, all of Shadeur's videos start popping up in my algorithm. And I was out here doing other stuff and just had the TV on. And I was working. I looked up and there was a video with Shedeur at Jackson State. I think it was homecoming. And then there was a video of when Coach Prime was in the wheelchair and he had on a jacket. And on the back was the letter P, an animal, and an F, like a mascot. And the first thing that came to my mind was prime football. Remember, I said he should start prime time football. So I saw him and I didn't know what I was looking at. I just saw the jacket. And because I knew prime time football was probably the last thing I said, that's instantly what came to mind. I think that's what they're going to do. I do. I think that's what they're going to do. I think the NFL might know. I think that's why they signed Travis. I think that's why Shedeur dropping his music. Shedeur has options. When Coach Prime said Shedeur gonna have a good year, he gonna have a good year regardless. Regardless. If you pay attention, if I am of the belief that Travis didn't just decide to get up and go to Jackson. I am of the belief that was a chess move. That was leverage. I am also of the belief that there will be leverage to fix Shadeur's situation. Now, remember last week, they was talking about cutting Shiloh from Tampa. Then they was also still talking about earlier in that week, letting go of Shedeur. Not letting go of Shedeur. See, they think they slick. They were saying, Cleveland, here's what they were saying. It's reported that Stefanski wants to keep Dylan Gabriel. And Andrew Berry wants to get his franchise QB out the 2026 draft. When that conversation first started, I knew what they were doing. They trying to tell Shedeur, you ain't going to be here. I'm like, then if Shedeur not going to be there, why y'all still selling his jersey? Oh, you think you're going to keep him on the bench. So what immediately happens? Then Tampa supposedly puts out a story. They not keeping Shiloh. He good, but we don't have room for him. I'm like, oh, okay. So you don't want to say Shedeur is not your solution. You putting it out there that you want other people. So you think you slick. And then Tampa gonna piggyback and say they don't have room for Shiloh. Not that he not good, but they don't have no room for him. But he fourth on the depth chart. So I don't know how they don't have no room. Right? So to me, I feel like they probably trying to get back at Coach Prime because of Travis going out there fishing, getting his contract signed. That's what I think. And I think they know some people on the inside have them figured out or them been told, Prime probably going to start his own league. And I'm going to tell y'all, I saw a post that popped up with Deion Sanders in my Instagram feed, and I'm not on Instagram all the time. This was perfectly timed. He said, I'm back, baby. He was out for a walk, and guess who he was walking with? The boss lady. I said, oh, these two put their heads together. I'm going to tell y'all something. When Coach Prime and Miss Constance Schwartz get together, deals are done. Money is to be made. I will tell you, when Evolution of a Black Quarterback came out and they had like this premiere, they were somewhere in New York. She had to take a meeting. At the time, Travis was being snubbed from the Heisman. She went in, there was a conference call, some things were said. The next thing you know, college football changed their tune towards Travis. That woman right there. When I saw Coach Prime saying he back and he walking with her, I'm like, they gonna do that football league. And when I saw him with that jacket and it said PF, I don't even know what PF stand for. It was PF and it had a like a tiger or something, but he was at Jackson State, so I didn't get it. I'm like, Prime football. I think that's what they're gonna do. I think that's what they're gonna do. I think Canada was a reality, and the NFL kind of like, all of this that's happening right now. Shedeur, them talking about they don't want they want Dylan, they want to get their franchise QB next year, maybe Arch Manning or Cade, like they shunning Shedeur, like they don't know he is the franchise QB. They trying to get rid of Shiloh. The next thing you know, Canada, Shedeur's on the list. That comes back out because it was already discussed. That comes back out. And it just seems like then teams start popping up into the conversation. Indianapolis, a serious contender because they need a quarterback, right? And now Quishon Junkins, right? Cleveland is scared because they done let Nick Chubb go. They don't have nobody, and they don't want to get forced into this contract situation. And now I can't talk about Shedeur no more because Quishon Junkins out here with a misdemeanor battery, right? So it kind of pushes the NFL to a corner. You're going to have to about Shedeur. I'm going to need you to shut up now. You can't talk about Shedeur and them tickets no more while you over here tripping over your feet trying to get Quishon Junkins signed. Because you ain't got no damn running backs. So either they were set up by their folks within or they just horrible business people. They let Nick Chubb go knowing Quishon Junkins had not signed his contract. So that PF on the back of that jacket, it said primetime football to me. Coach Prime, somebody I'm back, and he didn't have to share a picture with him and Miss Constance. I know that means some business is happening. In fact, every documentary that Coach Prime has, even whether it was Barstool Sports, whether it's Netflix or Amazon, her name is attached. Some business is happening. I think they know he probably gonna go head on and make a move, and he needs to. He needs to do it. He needs to do it. He the one that could do it like this. It would be over. It would be an overnight success. Anybody else would need time. They're gonna have to figure some stuff out. Nope. Not Coach Prime. He already had a lead. He knows exactly what to do. So, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I hope Coach Prime and others come up with their own league. Yep, fingers crossed. We will definitely support like that. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for Ocho and Cam Newton to put their heads together and just go out there and play a game with veterans from the NFL who could still ball out, like the ones that got cut last year. They have Damar Hamlin, the guy, remember the guy that hurt himself in Buffalo? Almost lost his life. They gave him a 1-year contract. They didn't even give him comeback player of the year. How's that for disrespect? So somebody like him, all these guys, they have in Baltimore, who's in front of the one that was in Houston with Deshaun. He on a 1-year contract. All those guys. And their contract's not guaranteed. So the guys that got cut this year that didn't make the league, those are the guys. Y'all go out there and play some 11-on-11. Y'all can play 7-on-7. I don't care if you put on pads or if you play flag football or you just play 7-on-7 or 11-on-11. Like it's just OT7. People will come and watch that like it's Rucker Park and basketball. I'm telling you. All of these camps they have are successful. That tells you these guys can have their own league. I don't know them personally. I don't know what it is. But I challenge Ocho and Cam to get together. Get an arena. If Gunner can play OT7 at the damn Rose Bowl, you can get an arena somewhere, a stadium somewhere. Advertise it on all these podcasts. and people gonna show up like it's Rucker Park and basketball. Watch what I tell you. There was a reason why the NBA tried to stop the big three. There was a reason why and one don't exist no more. Money Main was doing a primetime equity mock contract on his platform. Oh, was it real or was he just hypothetically talking? Thank you, Tina. It said the Old Bridge guy doesn't even go to Ole Miss. He deleted his profile because he was his frat brother, allegedly. I know they said, thank you, Bianca. I know they said that her boyfriend was in a fraternity. And I said, if you know all that, you know his name and you know which one. And people thought the Aldrich guy made the call. But see, I feel like NFL let people believe that because that was a lie. I think all of that, I think they just said that, right? I think they just said that because Coach Prime played for Atlanta. It's funny how they said it was Atlanta, but everybody that had something to do with the call or defamatory statements about Shedeur all came out of New York and the Giants. So that's questionable. But the NFL never went back and cleared up the fact that the NFL itself released Shedeur number. See, that's why I said Coach Prime gonna have to probably start his own league because, I mean, honestly, what the hell does that say if the NFL released the number so the public humiliation stunt could take place and it involves the Saints, the Giants, and then over here, Cleveland reeled Shedeur in and dropped him like a bad habit and blamed Deshaun Watson for it. What the hell does that say? It say Deshaun Watson and his wife need to take some of their money. Or they probably don't even need no money. They need to start a league because they were done dirty. And this man shows up at his wedding? Oh, hell no. I said, you know what, Lord, I thought you was finished with me. But apparently not. I'm like, because I did not think that was Haslam at that wedding. I was like, ain't no way. And he threw this man under the bus publicly. These people still are trashing Deshaun. And I'm going to be honest with you. It's true. He don't let it get to him. Why? Because the woman he married speaks life into him. We were talking about it in the comments earlier today, right? We were talking about how, you remember yesterday we had the conversation about how women look at men lovingly, right? Remember we had that conversation? I was trying to see if I still had the video. I might have deleted it, but somebody pointed out in the comments, they said, you know what? The way she looks at him is what you were trying to describe. And it's true. Remember yesterday, Carnivore's sister said gaze was the word. Women gaze at men when they like them. That's true. And I said, you know, publicly, if a woman likes a man, because, you know, we can't really hide it. You know, we be looking at it with puppy eyes and all that with the little hearts and everything. And he came back in the comments and he said, did you see the way Deshaun Watson's wife was holding his head, like holding his head and speaking life into him? I said, yes, I saw it. Yes, I saw it. He said that right there is what we will never see from who? Drop the name in the chat. I said, you're right. That's how Deshaun Watson got through that. I almost said that. I remember when they started dating, but I can't remember the year. But you know what I said to myself? Because I remember when she was single and doing her thing, right? And the next thing you know, they was dating or whatever. And then this situation happened a little bit afterwards. I said, you know what? I said, she got him through that. He might have thought at one point he couldn't even survive that. I don't think people understand what he went through, having to pay all of that, deal with that humiliation, and they gave him back every dime and then some. And they still drag him unjustly by saying they took a big swing and miss with him, but he has a winning record in Cleveland. And Cleveland know they rotated Deshaun, PJ Walker, and DTR through 11 games, amassed a winning record, and handed it over to practice squad Joe Flacco. And they still want to throw Deshaun under the bus. That's dirty. That's dirty. So primetime football, I pray because they could get going. Coach Prime is the only person I think that could move that fast. And by next season, we good. They could draft. Because, if they still going to play him, you know what I'm saying? You got to think, am I going to go back to CU or am I going to be a hindrance? But from everything we're seeing, CU still sold out, right? The players still coming. And what? The other players speak admirably. Opponents, players speak admirably about Coach Prime. And you can't defeat that. That's how you know he could get it done. So we'll eventually find out the results of him and Miss Constance Schwartz going out and talking, because you best believe they was talking business. And they call her boss lady, and rightfully so. It says she wanted to make sure her boy got QB1 with the Giants, and they need to talk about real nepotism. Yep. And they were mad with Shedeur, because talking about that's Coach Prime's son, but the Mannings all but handpicked Jackson Dart. And guess who else benefited from that? So, Abdul Carter, right? He went to Penn State. Guess who his friend is? The daughter of the head coach. So little do he know, he was played, so that they drafted him, so they didn't have to draft Shedeur. They wasn't going to draft Shedeur anyway. So they were like, well, we're going to get Abdul Carter, because that make people go, oh, okay, I understand. You needed a damn quarterback. You could have got Abdul Carter second. So they use the relationship that Abdul Carter had with the daughter of the head coach to say it's okay with the daughter of the GM and Jackson Dart. You see? But Shedeur can't be Coach Prime's son. Yeah. I think that's why Abdul Carter came into the league thinking he could have it was an Eric Dickerson's number. And they was like, boy, sit down somewhere. This stops now. This stops now. This stops now. It says, yes, Jackson is in Hinds County. You are talking about being in the city limits versus the county. Okay, yeah, some imaginary line or something. Some weirdness happening down there. Thank you for that, Amber. It says the Goon Squad. Yep, happened in Rankin County. Yep. That's what they were called, the Goon Squad. If you don't know what we're talking about, go look up the Goon County. Go look up the Goon Squad, Rankin County. Go look up the situation. You're going to be like, oh, my God. Yeah. Yeah. I can only imagine what happened during slavery. I can even post-slavery. I can only imagine. Because when you read that story, you're going to come back. Somebody go read it and come back and reply in the comments with emojis. Use emojis to express yourself. You're going to be like, okay, this is sickening. It said, oh my God, Prime is a genius. He playing chess, not checkers. This is another layer that they can't control, and they are 38 hot. Yup, Anthony, that's facts. That's facts. That's facts. And they know he's smart. They know he's smart. So all of this reversal, people talking about, well, Cleveland media like Shedeur. We're like, we don't give a damn. I will be the one to happily say, look, just go and leave you. I wanted Miss Pilar to take the jersey back up there. Take the helmet and the jersey and let your mama go up there and drop it off. I wanted Miss Pilar to be the one to go on up there and return. When he goes somewhere else, let her return the practice jersey and the damn helmet. Hell, because she the one, in my opinion, that made the New York Giants retreat, because she was the first one to come out and say, put the tapes out if he wasn't prepared. Put it, and they retreated. It's documented. You can Google it. They are backing away from what they said about Shedeur. And then they used Michael Strahan to trot out there when they had their first day of OTAs with his melanin. Even though I like Michael Strahan, he should have said no and say, your head coach, he loves you, this, that, and the other. I'm pretty sure they don't believe that because of how that ball treated Shedeur. So they sent another black man out there to tell those other black majority players that were out there, and Jackson Dart was back there in the back. They always using black people. You notice that? So they don't get their hands dirty. Ugh, sickening. So yes, primetime football. Please, please. For now, I'll take Ocho and Cam Newton. Just get something going. It said, let them keep their, right. If you don't want black quarterbacks, right? You don't want black starting quarterbacks, or you don't want the majority of your quarterback to be starters, cool. Because Coach Prime or anybody else go start a all black led or black owned league. or majority black league, because that might be what we're looking at here. It's on. We all going. Because Cleveland, no. If Shedeur gone, we gone too. And I ain't looking back. And Joko's cool. I follow him. You know, I wish him well. He probably gonna be on his way soon too. Because they are some retaliatory people up there in Cleveland. So it said Chubb is damaged goods, unfortunately. That's probably the best decision they have made in a very long time, in my opinion. You don't think he's good? A lot of people said they were crazy for letting him go. And I do think they are crazy because now they don't have no running backs. Well, why they didn't get somebody else in the draft then? Other than Quishon. I think they did get two. Did they get two running backs? Because that's supposedly all they got is a 4-string. So I don't know. I don't think they should have let Chubbs go until these rookies signed their contract. And if the rookie you really wanted that you got in the draft in the second round, why not the first round? Why they didn't get Quishon Junkins in Mason Graham's place? Why they didn't get him first? That's crazy. Maybe he would have signed his contract. You can't say he mean all of that and you don't fix his contract if he's just an issue with the language and 30 other people are holding out with the same issue, right? And if all his was language and he didn't want the guaranteed money, then it just shows you they just treat him like chattel. That's all. It's similar to how CP does Shedeur as a dad before he becomes a coach on those walks before games in college. Yeah, but you got to look at the context of who Miss Constance Schwartz is in this whole equation. He speaks life. He speaks life into him, Amber. So this is how they operate. They will laugh in your face. And yeah, and that's what I said about RG3, right? I said I was happy to see several people from different podcasts, black men, to come out and talk about one, I think it was like Fox, the two black guys on Fox were like, yeah, he don't have to respond to everything. And Ryan Clark, spoke out, and different people spoke out about it. So I was like, well, that's good. But, that's why I make it a point to show love to Angel, because what she has to deal with is it's ridiculous. And actually her year 2, Shedeur is where she was last year. Last year they were hating on her, propping up somebody else. They didn't want her to be the face of the league. This year they can't even stop it. They can't look away. It's obvious who's the best person. And now people are putting it out there. And see, it just goes to show you that when they prop up people because preference, it never works. The people, you have to be good. See, when you hold back greatness for preference is temporary. You only gonna get away with that as long as the media talk about it. But when it's time to hit the court or hit the field, talent is gonna take over. Talent and preparedness. Greatness will always take over preference, right? It's not like Michael Jordan was preference for somebody. I'm sure he caught some strays. I'm sure he caught some racism somewhere, right? But guess what? You can't deny him. You can't deny Angel either. Hell, people hated on LeBron. You can't deny him either. And now with Bronny in Summer League, you can't deny him either. You know what I'm saying? So greatness will always show up. Preference will always be temporary. You tell one lie, you have to tell another. You're going to have to get the media to keep pushing it. And when the buzzer starts or when the whistle blows, greatness will emerge. And that's what has happened for Angel Reese. And she even credited Unrivaled Basketball with helping to develop her. I told you, I said Angel playing and Unrivaled has her. She a beast this year because of it. And they didn't even make her a starter. And everybody want to see her. Kids already wearing the Reese's Pieces costumes to the Chicago Sky game. I'm like, damn, we get started with Halloween early this year. But then I was like, that's cute. I want one of those. So Angel is undeniable this year. And I was like, if Shedeur is around next year, I think this pretty much how it's going to go for him. And the way she got the opportunity, remember, y'all told me, y'all said, well, they got a new coach in Chicago and he want to do things differently. Somebody got hurt. So if they send Shedeur to Buffalo behind Josh Allen, and that's probably the only person in this entire trade team scenario that they would send, because they would believe in their minds that there's no way in hell that Shedeur could replace Josh Allen. Because that's what they think about Jalen Milroe and Sam Darnold. And they think that only because Sam Darnold got paid $100 million. I'm like, do y'all not think about the unexpected? So Buffalo could happen, and that's another team that has emerged, and it's going to continue. Just let Miami pop up. Just let Miami pop up. Why they don't send Quinn Ewers to New Orleans? They need a quarterback. I know why they don't send Shedeur. Why they don't send Quinn Ewers to New Orleans? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. It said a podcast is dangerous, is a dangerous media news reporting. So more so than conventional. Instantaneous internet reporting, no matter the subject. It's hard to deny stories. Empty stadiums are needed. Yeah, it is. Empty stadiums are needed. Empty stadiums are needed. And again, Baker Mayfield is on this image because why? He was good. He helped them win. Stefanski didn't take to him, didn't help to do anything with him, and they let him go. That's why he in the picture next to Shedeur. I just don't want to see Shadeur's time wasted. We want to see Shedeur play now. They don't care what we want, though. They don't care what the fans want. No kind of fans. I think if a bunch of white fans went and said, hey, we want Shedeur to start, they're like, that ain't what we want. I don't give a damn what you want. Yeah, okay, we'll do it. We'll make it happen. Yeah, we'll make it happen. And it'll never happen. Because that's not what they want to see. They do have two new running backs. Okay. I didn't hear them talk about the Dillon guy. So when was he drafted? When was Dillon drafted? So they should be good, but they're not. Can I post what happened in Mississippi in the chat? Not with words. Not with words, no. You can post a link to the story. I think you can do that. Just post a link to the story and say this is what we was talking about, and then people can go read it. Yeah, you could do it that way, Tina, and I appreciate you for asking. Thank you so much, fam. I appreciate you. It said, Lord, the snow. You talking about Buffalo? In Boulder. I'm like, from Boulder to Buffalo. I think that's the idea personally. I don't want to see Shedeur QB2 nowhere. But I believe in the unexpected. So I just want him with a decent organization. And Buffalo seems to be okay. But then again, I don't know much about them. I have to do a preliminary investigation. I have to look into it. So yeah, that's what I would have to do. But yeah, I mean, technically he will be going from Boulder to Buffalo. Now, here's my question for y'all. What team do y'all think Shedeur should go to? Like, since we have these trade scenarios popping up, and I'm talking fair, right? I'm not talking about second round, third round picks. I just want to know, like, where he can go, that he can play, or a good organization that he can grow with or whatever. Let's see. He can't come to Atlanta because we already got a problem. They say Kirk Cousins is lying. Cam Newton say he ought to just be happy, shut up, and take the money because he get paid like $40 million this year to do nothing. Sit behind Michael Penix Jr. I want to talk about that story, but I got to look into it, and I got too much other stuff to look into, so I'm gonna have to put that on for a slow moment because it's starting to make its way. I already talked about it once. Let's see. Jay said Buffalo. Okay, Jay likes Buffalo. BJ likes the Lions. Okay, all right. Jared Goff. Okay, yeah, 2% battery life. Yep, I like it. I like it. As long as they don't start talking that fifth string nonsense. Miss Pamela also likes Shedeur in Detroit. Okay. They're not gonna do that though. Because Jared Goff is much, much older. How old is Jared Goff? Does anybody know? I can't remember. It said Dylan Sampson was picked in the 4th round. Yeah, they don't have no quarterback. I mean, no, they don't have no running back. They should have kept Chubbs. Even if he was damaged goods, he was security. Now they don't have no security. Jacksonville or Detroit. Okay, I like Jacksonville 22. I like Jacksonville, right? I like Jacksonville, and I think that could happen. I do. I just don't think it will be this year. Which means we're going to have to deal with Cleveland this year. I think we're going to have to deal with Cleveland this year unless they cut him before the season starts and it's too late for him to go learn another team's offense. And they shysty enough to do it. They shysty enough to do it just like that. Jay said Jacksonville. Yep, we like Jacksonville. I like Jacksonville. That's my first choice. I would like Travis and Shedeur to both play for Jacksonville. It's only 4.5 hours from Atlanta. Is that what we heard? 3.5 is Charlotte. That's where Jimmy is. And then how far is Charlotte, North Carolina from Jacksonville? Does anybody know? Let me know if anybody know. Not by plane, by car. I'm just curious. I'm just curious. It says 22 says Shadeur will never play at Buffalo with Josh Allen. See, you think like they do, 22. And I disagree. I disagree. I say go ahead and do it. And watch the unexpected happen. See, that's what happened to Angel Reese, right? They were not giving her all this playing time, which is why they was 2-6. They were happy being 2-6 in Chicago as long as Angel was held back. Somebody got hurt. Angel got the opportunity, and she has not looked back. And they just beat like a winning team. So they're left there with her leading the way. They're starting to win. So what you gonna do? You gonna bench her because y'all winning? You're gonna lose your job if you do that. See, coaches also, depending on the organization, have to weigh losing their jobs. Now, Stefanski seems to be safe because, if he didn't lose his job after Baker Mayfield, then, I think he's safe. But I think it sends a message to Dylan that they don't have any faith in him at all. They don't even expect him to make it to starter. Hell, they ain't even trying to hold him back. They trying to hold Shedeur back because they don't want him to start. See, they don't fool around. And if they fool around and keep Shedeur, they're going to have to play Shedeur, right? See, they don't want to deal with the public. They don't want to deal with not just Shedeur's fans, but the fans who have come to like Shedeur. In Cleveland, there are fans that see that Shedeur is the best opportunity, right? So they don't want to deal with that because they're trying to get that stadium. Now, they don't care about us because we don't live there. We don't contribute to their economy. We don't contribute to Cleveland ticket sales. I'm not flying there to watch no games. But the people that live there, the people that they want to go to the new stadiums, they want to buy the season tickets. Some of them like Shedeur. So if they mess up and keep him, now mind you, 17-32 is the overarching goal. Okay, that's the overarching goal. Keep him away from QB1. If I keep him on my roster and I don't let him play and we suck, well, they suck. It's going to be a problem. Now, if they winning, ain't nobody going to say nothing. And that's bad for Shedeur because he's going to have to sit there. But given the way, see, Cleveland is betting the farm on Flacco, which is crazy because he already could be available at the most critical game. And see, they had the other 3 quarterbacks in 2023 hoodwinked, thinking the 3 of them are competing for the starting job, including Deshaun Watson. And then they pulled Flacco off the practice squad, and those guys had a winning record. PJ Walker won 2 games in a row, and they still gave the next game to somebody else. They shiesty, bro. That's why, for me, a lot of people like, well, he already there. Let's see what's going to happen. Okay. But for me, I say let's just cut bait. Cut bait. Go somewhere else. Because, see, Shedeur fool around and get hurt in Cleveland, it's going to be a problem. It is, and the fans are not going to believe it was an accident. And if the O-line is a problem and they didn't address it in the draft and they didn't get no starters, people going to say they set him up, and it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. So I say cut bait and get the hell on. That's what I say. Joyce say Jacksonville. The snow in Buffalo is harsh. So the snow in Buffalo is worse than the snow in Boulder? Probably so. I've been to Colorado. I've been skiing in Colorado. So yeah, probably so. Okay, I'm gonna go with you on that, Jay. It's a 5 hours from, what's this? 5 hours from Columbia and Charlotte, 1 hour and a half So about a 7-hour drive from Charlotte. Oh, okay, 7 hours. That's further than I thought. Okay, thank you. It says, thank you so much. It says, Stefanski sings the same song every year. I need a QB. They need Jesus. Yes, they definitely need Jesus. Jesus, like, I'm sick of y'all. Don't call my name no more. Don't call my name no more. Yep, he does need to be fired. I don't know why they just thrive in they just thrive in losing. I don't get it. It's the reason for it, though. It's the reason for it. Maybe so they could be the place, like maybe they need one of the 32 teams to always be a dumping ground because, if I want to punish somebody, I'm going to have to, send them somewhere. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know, but it's something. Jacksonville. Yep, Navalia, Jacksonville. I like Jacksonville too. How my boy Travis doing? Exposing the truth. They say he is on vacation with in the Bahamas. That's what somebody said yesterday. That's what somebody said yesterday. It said agreed, cut bait. Yeah, I think we need to cut bait because something gonna happen. And it's not gonna be explainable. They got their hands full with Quishon Junkins. They obviously not serious about him. They don't have to be forced into doing right. See, I want Shedeur somewhere where he can just go out there and play. Like somebody that need a quarterback that is like, Shedeur is good. Go get him. That's what I want because that's what should happen. I'm sick of all of this politics. I'm sick of all of this. Yeah, we want to get our franchise QB next year. In other words, you're not our franchise QB. Stefanski wants to start. Dylan, okay. See, I say you give people what they want. You don't want me, then cut me. Cut me. That's how I feel. I think you can never be afraid to say goodbye. I think when you do that, they got you. And every time Shedeur releases anything, like when he was going through the draft process, and it was like, the only thing I think Coach Prime said he wanted was to get drafted before Coach Prime. After he said that, he's gonna go to number 9 to New Orleans. Then after that, he's gonna go to Pittsburgh. He's like, I don't care where I go. I mean, it was just always trying to find a way to get at him. So, the fact that he put out music, I feel like I'm going on with my life. If y'all gonna cut me, cut me. And I'm gonna send my mom up there with my helmet and my practice jersey, and I'm gonna let her bring it up there. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's what need to happen. It said, you think went on the honeymoon in Bahamas? It would not surprise me. 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 It just wouldn't. I hope not. It said, Jay said, lurking. Yep, lurking. Yep, lurking. That's what that is. Somebody already asked the question and said yes. Yeah, lurking. I mean, honestly, I hate to say it, but I think he's a buffer. I do. I think he's a buffer. People have said it so many times. It's like she don't want to be alone with him. Shedeur went over to Travis's house when they were in Boulder to play what's that game? The CFB 25. And you know what Shedeur said out loud? Now I know your address. I'm like, you never knew where he lived? Like, damn. So, I guess that's just what it is. But I think he's a buffer. I think he's a buffer. I think y'all need to see Deshaun Watson's wedding to see. Let me see if I can find it right quick to see who said that in the comments. Once I like the comments, I don't see it until I go back and look for it. Whoever that was that said it, they know who they are. That said the way that Jilly was speaking life into Deshaun on that altar when they got married. I said, she is his angel. She helped him get through this. And the way she was holding his head and she was crying and she was talking to him, whoever that was in the comments said, that's what we will never see. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it because when they said it, I instantly knew what they was talking about. Let's see. I'm going to see it if I still have it. Hopefully I still have it. I would hate that I deleted that because it was so beautiful. It was just gorgeous. Is this it right here? Uh, this might be it right here. Let's see. I don't know if this is it. Oh, this is it. This is it. This is it. Okay. Okay. I can't play the sound, so you're just gonna have to like look at it, and you're gonna know exactly what part I'm talking about when we say that she was speaking life into him. Okay. All right. Just gorgeous. I think they gave each other watches. Her dress was gorgeous. Just absolutely gorgeous. Just very. Because I said I liked how they are with each other. That's her dad. That's her dad. That's her brother. I think he used to play ball too, I think, or something like that. That's Deshaun, obviously. That's when they first look. They played R&B classics by violin. I thought that was gorgeous. This when she comes out, and that's his face. Just beautiful, genuine smile. His tuxedo was gorgeous. The texture was amazing. They praying over them. That's the kiss. That's afterwards. Hopefully that's it right there. That's it right there. That's the money shot right there. That's it. You see? You see that right there? You see that right there? That's what we were talking about yesterday. That's what we were talking about yesterday when a woman loves a man. Do you see? Do you see how she's looking at him? Comment in the chat. Drop a bunch of hearts if you don't have nothing to say, but you drop some heart up the chat. Do you see the way she is looking at him? This is a wife. This is how a wife acts. This is his anchor. This is his rock, right? She not gonna let him go outside looking any kind of way. She gonna make sure that he's straight, right? She gonna make sure, and it wouldn't surprise me if she had something to do with making sure that he was treated properly and fairly, because they were dating. I do believe they were dating when he asked for that trade. And she stayed with him. This man was not found guilty of any criminal charges by 2 Texas grand juries who typically convict when you sneeze too loud. He got every dime back. But he was humiliated. And they still bring him up. Do y'all know people brought up Deshaun Watson when they talked about Quishon Junkins? When they started talking about Quishon got arrested, people were posting pictures of Deshaun. I'm like, why? They refuse to acknowledge that the NFL has essentially reimbursed Deshaun Watson every single dime, including lawyers' fees, including fines. It was like it was all for show to cover up something else. Probably starts with the C, probably has an R component to it, because he asked for a trade. Everybody in Texas knows this. And she stayed with him. And you see, this woman was speaking life into this man on their wedding day, right? On their wedding day. She not going to let him go out here looking any kind of way, ashy, hair unkept, teeth not brushed. She not going to go out here and do something that benefits her and him, or her, but not him. And whoever that was that pointed it out, right, that she was speaking life into him, yes, that's exactly what she was doing. That's a wife. You know, couples are supposed to be there for each other when it counts. And that's what I meant by I love the way they are with each other, right? These people could have had a wedding with 500 people there. They didn't. They had an intimate gathering with people that probably are in their circle that have been there for them. Yes, I was shocked and thought that the guy that I saw was I thought that was the Texans, somebody from the Texans. I did not think that there was anybody from Cleveland because of they threw him under the bus. And they don't say anything when people trash his reputation. And somebody said that they don't want him to come outside when he's up there. Like he was supposed to be coming outside, working with people and stuff like that. So they're trying to keep him at bay. So of course, I didn't think, right? I didn't think that they would be at his wedding at all. But it just shows you, you know, that they really good people because they better than me. They better than me because he wouldn't have been there. You know, they take pot shots at Deshaun all the time, but they don't admit the truth. This man got all his money back. He was never found guilty of anything. The fact that he got his money back is, I think, the biggest sign that something happened and they just made a public spectacle out of it, or just covered it up, basically, like a cover up. That's what I think. Y'all tell me what y'all think, but you see how she was speaking life into him, and that's on their wedding day. So chances are she does that. She does that probably daily. I can't imagine, you know, what he went through. And don't get me wrong, you know, if there was any validity to anything, you know, forgiveness is what he learned. And I told y'all how she comes from a solid family, and you know, it's normally just him and his mom, and you know, he probably learned some things from her. She probably learned some things, you know, from him. So, you know, that's what it is. So that's what that is. Oh, okay. So put my picture back on the screen. All right, we've been on here. How long we been on here? An hour and 30 some odd minutes. All right. So I guess we're getting ready to wrap up. I have a video to release about Quishon Junkins, just kind of explaining to people what's going on, because you know, people was pulling out Ray Rice videos. I'm like, this is not that. This is not that. So let me check the comments and see what y'all were talking about. Let's see. It said brother would be the babysitter as well. Yeah, definitely that. Anything to stay. It said, I said that in the comments, Jay. Oh, that was you? Oh, okay. Okay, that was you. So that was Jay that said that we would never see that. We will never see that where Travis is concerned. What we saw with Deshaun Watson at the wedding with his wife speaking life into him, it would take some kind of miracle. Shedeur has the faith God opened that door for him. Yep. And he has to write it out. Facts. When I say cut bait, I mean for Cleveland to cut him. I don't mean for him to quit. I don't think he should quit. And when he made the song Too Legit to Quit, he was telling you he's not going to quit. He's telling Cleveland he's not going to quit. So if you don't want him, you're going to have to get rid of him. And you're not going to be able to hide him on the depth chart. And you're not going to be able to sit him on the bench for the season. So it's up to you what you're going to do. But it's certain things you're not going to be able to get away with. So he's a man. Yeah, he is. No, I didn't call for him to quit. I called for Cleveland to cut bait because they're going to try to still play and it's not going to work out. And I'm just tired of seeing them play with him, basically. They look good. Yep. Like God really put them together. I think so. I think God sends help before you need it, and he sent her, because you don't know how he would have made it through that, you know. You don't know. And she had to be forgiven if any of it is true. You know, and I'm sure knowing that he got all of his money back, right? And I told y'all, he had one of the best lawyers in the country. One of the best lawyers out of Houston for sure, but one of the best lawyers in the country also. And you know that was not cheap. Charlotte say, ride or die. Yep. And that's what you're supposed to have, right? That's what you're supposed to have. But youth makes us think people will change. And that's what it is. So she is his shield and his peace. Yep. I saw them somewhere. He had a boot on his foot. They were somewhere. They had pulled over to the side of the road. It looked like they were like in like a Cullinan or something like that. And they were celebrating something. I don't even know what they were celebrating. But you could tell that they friends. You can tell those two are friends. And that's why I said I like how they are with each other. Right? It says she knew that man. Yep, she loved him. Yeah. And she knew him too. But yeah, everybody will tell you all he did was ask for a trade. That's retaliation. Just beautiful. Yes. It said I was the one that said that about them in the comment section. So that was Jay. I knew it was somebody because Jay was like, why doesn't Cleveland just admit that they have a first string quarterback that they drafted in the 5th round? I'm like, yeah, because that's facts. They know that. And it's funny how they know that. That's why I said they can lie to us all day and it don't even work with us. So how you going to pre-draft with Shedeur extensively and try to convince him that you weren't going to ever draft him? They had Adam Schefter convinced that they were drafting him. But somebody said Adam Schefter, I think it was Cam Newton. Cam Newton said Paul Feinbaum and Adam Schefter, these guys, when they speak on something, they know what they're talking about. I said, thank you, Cam, because it proves, because Adam Schefter said it. He said, Cleveland, he said, I can say for certain Cleveland is going to get a franchise quarterback. And number 2, he talked about them getting Shedeur. And then after Haslam came out and threw Deshaun under the bus and lied because Deshaun has a winning record and used Deshaun, another one black man, to block another one, Schefter came back and said, well, yeah, I don't know if they're going to get a quarterback now. So he was in tune with what Cleveland had going on. So that's how I know they lied. And they could lie to us or they could try and it don't work with us. So they try to act like to Shedeur that they lied to him. To me, Barry is the one that's acting like, we're going to get our franchise quarterback next year. I'm like, you must have forgot that you interviewed, they sent you to meet with him. They're going to hang this on you. And that's what he don't think about, that he's setting himself up being the one, Haslam lets us do our jobs. Oh, okay. So you were the one that pre-drafted him extensively, had him believing he was going to get drafted and dropped him like a hot potato. Okay. And then you still went back up there to see you after pro day and took Travis and Shedeur out to dinner and Coach Prime. Let us not forget. So we know you had intentions. The article, okay. Tina said this article is about the Goon Squad. So she posted it. So y'all got to check that out. It says Sierra looks at Russell the same way. Yes, Lord. And the way he looks at her, if you don't have nobody look at you like that, just keep looking. Stay open. Just stay open. That's all I'm gonna say. Stay open. And see, that's why Sierra's setting up Donovan Mitchell and Coco Jones and then DK Metcalf and Normani. They out here doing the Lord's work. That's all I'm gonna say. They out here doing the Lord's work. That's it. That's it. When you look at these relationships, you look at how these people look at each other, and Russ and Sierra are not gonna put these people together if they don't think. They know who they putting together. They know who they know the hearts of both of these people. They know what they doing. They know they doing the Lord's work too. They know it. Russ is gonna be the only reason I even let my eyes fixate on anything pertaining to the New York Giants. I mean, anything. I just want to make sure he good. I'm like, otherwise, they should have left him right there in Pittsburgh and sent Aaron Rodgers to New York. But he didn't want to go there. Like, it matters. Like, why he had a choice in the matter? And they're going to make Russ wait behind Aaron Rodgers and let him take his sweet time. And then he blocked Russ and Shedeur. You see? You see? You see? You see what I'm saying? It said, can we what? Can we ride and live? What's that mean? What does that mean, Jay? It said the owner was there on a recon mission. He doesn't want Watson talking to Shedeur. I believe that. That's why who was it said they want Deshaun Watson to stay inside? They try to split them up as best as they can. That is hilarious. Can we ride it live? Amber must know what you mean, Jay, because I don't get it. And she laughing. So y'all gonna have to tell me. I was referring to when gave her baby, her brother will be the main. Oh, okay. Oh, when she have her baby. I don't even know if she really pregnant. Yeah, probably so. I was hoping to see Travis's brother. That's what I was hoping to see. Talking. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So, I think I ran through everybody's comments. So, this was good. This was good. Training camp starts on Friday. We all believe Shedeur will be there because Cleveland decide they want to keep Shedeur. They just figure out that they're gonna keep Shedeur and keep Deshaun Watson away from Shedeur. So Deshaun Watson don't tell Shedeur how to get $500 million from the NFL. Because that's how much it's gonna be. So the shenanigans continue. So as long as he is in Cleveland, we will be purely entertained. And we're gonna be there to support him. And I know that there are people who Shedeur Sanders fans that plan to show up at the open practices that the Browns have. And they have an open practice. If y'all are in Charlotte, I think the Browns are gonna go to Charlotte to do like a joint practice. So some of the teams are starting to do that. And I think the Browns and the Panthers are one team that is going to get together. So if y'all are in that area, y'all could check that out. Oh, ride or die. That's what he was saying. Oh, okay. I got it. Okay. Thank you so much. So all right, y'all, we're gonna get ready to get out of here. This was awesome. Hit the like button on your way out. Cleveland know they have a franchise QB, and Shedeur will be QB1. I believe Shedeur know it. That's why he working out hard, getting ready to take the job. Okay, I'm gonna remember you said this. I like the screenshot stuff. I'm gonna remember you said that 22. And you might be right. Because they're trying to act like they got some sense because other teams seem to be, or there's the narrative of other teams seem to be interested. So you might be right. They can play if they want to, but they know he's good. And we know it too. So they're gonna have to tread very, very carefully here. All right, I guess we'll be back tomorrow, guys. During the day sometime. I'm probably gonna go live earlier during the day just because I know there'll be some new news coming out with camp. We might find out more about Deshaun, what's his name? Quishon Junkins. And then again, we might not find anything. So some of these things have a way of just disappearing. So don't be surprised if we don't hear much about that. Or if we do, I'll be back. It says not ride or die, ride and live. Oh, ride and live instead of ride or die. Okay, I get it. I didn't get it at first, but I got it now. It said he don't stay inside. He needs to stay out of the all right. I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave that alone, Anthony. Great show. Thank you, the Egyptian Queen, and welcome back. All right. We will return to Club What She Said. That's what I call it. You up, Club What She Said. Will be about 12:05 one day starting this week. I think I'm gonna just pop up with it a couple of days this week, but we probably gonna get past Monday and Tuesday. Maybe like on a Wednesday, for sure on Thursday, Friday. So we're going to try to get some of this news out the way while most people are awake. Thank you so much. I'll see y'all next time. Hit the like button on your way out. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all, we are 120 subs away from 4,000. We are celebrating 4,000. I know there's a lot of people that are like, she going to celebrate 4,000 followers. Yes, I'm celebrating 4,000 subs when we get there. We're 120 away. If you can hear the sound of my voice and have not subscribed, please subscribe. I'm excited. I consider that a very huge milestone. So we're close. Get us there. And we're going to celebrate. So keep that in mind. Thank you. Good night. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, BJ. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Jay, thank you so much. We'll see y'all back. Hopefully, Bianca was new. Hopefully, she'll come back with us. Jay, what you saying? Junkins should have been in Miami practicing in the rain and would have avoided that problem. I'm not convinced it's a problem yet. I think it's a chess move, but I'm gonna find out. But yeah, you're right. If it's a problem, yeah, you're right about that. These rooks need to follow QB12 to Country Prime when they are on breaks. Go do some fishing and relax. That would be so nice. I like that, Brian. Welcome. That would be so nice. I think that's what they should do. When they do they get another break before the season, or this is it? The training camp starts, then they go into preseason. Good night. All right, I got a video to drop. If y'all see my video, make sure that y'all hit the like button and comment on what you think of it. It'll be out probably within the next hour. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports. I appreciate each and every one of you. As you should. Celebrate everything. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, y'all. See y'all next time. Thank you. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Be sure to join our daily live stream and listen up to What She Said Sports on the go on Spotify. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Stay for another video.